Hey, what's up everyone? Back for another Saturday slate. This video we're going to talk about the 7 o'clock main slate. It's a 5-game slate. So let's get into it. Please like and subscribe down below, and you can hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button if you want to get a notification whenever I upload. So let's get started at pitcher as always. So today on this slate, we have a Coors game, and we have two terrible pitchers facing off in Coors. The two worst pitchers by far on this slate. Andrew Cashner pitching for the Orioles. His ERA looks pretty good so far this season if you're just looking at it, just 4.14. But his advanced numbers are bad, and he's a guy that has not been very good over the past couple seasons, so I'm not expecting him to suddenly turn into a solid pitcher, and especially pitching in Coors. I don't think his stuff is going to move all that well, and the Rockies' bats have been heating up, especially at home in Coors. They're really good, so I'm expecting Cashner to get rocked. And same thing with Freeland. I mean, he was good last season for the Rockies, but this season he's been really bad. In like half of his starts, he's been bad. The other half, he's been good. So you never really know what kind of guy you're going to get. But he's given up 12 home runs already in just 52 innings. And with a lot of the righties on the Orioles, and a lot of the righties do hit lefties pretty well, I'm expecting Freeland to have another bad game. He's also been pretty bad at home, except for one start against the Phillies. The other three starts at home, he's given up -4 against the Braves, -7 to the D-backs, and just 6.5 against the Giants. So I think the Orioles are make for a sense as another good stack. And then besides those two pitchers, the other pitchers that you could stack against, or maybe like Hudson, go with some lefties from the Braves against Hudson. But really, I'm just focusing on the core stack. I mean, I'll probably just do a full-on core stack on this slate. So the first pitcher I'm going to go with is going to be David Price at 8,800. Price is just a solid pitcher. The Astros are going to be missing George Springer again, and without Springer in the lineup is just not as scary. Springer's the best hitter against lefties, him and Bregman. But without Springer, the lineup is a little more manageable for a guy like Price, and he's just a solid pitcher. He gave up 34 hits in 41 innings this season, has 46 Ks, only 6 home runs given up, and I feel like he could have some success here against the Astros. So I'm not expecting him to get blown up or anything. He hasn't gotten blown up at all this season so far. So I like him a bit at 8,800. His price tag is down because of the matchup. And the second guy I'm going to go with is going to be Tyler Skaggs. So Skaggs, a lefty facing off against the Rangers. I always like picking lefties against this Rangers team because they are so lefty heavy with their lineup. Chu, Odor, Gallo, Mazzara, Guzman. Like lots and lots of lefties in the lineup. So I feel like Skaggs is going to be able to have some success against them. He put up 23 in the first start against the Rangers this season. And he's at a really good price tag at 7,300. His price tag has been dropping over the last, for pretty much the whole season. He started off at 9,000 and he was up to 9,400. And now he's down to 7,300. He's pitching at home, which is a pretty good ballpark to pitch in compared to Arlington. So I like Skaggs a lot, and going with these two pitchers allows you to fully stack up the Coors game if that's the direction you want to go with. So starting at first base, I'm going to go with Reynaldo Nunez at 4,900. Not only has he been swinging a very hot stick with 4 home runs in his past 5 games, but he's been extremely good against left-handed pitching. So we'll look at the numbers for Nunez against lefties, and over his career, Freeland has been much worse and given up much more power to right-handed bats. This season it's a little flipped, but the sample size is a little small against lefties for Freeland. But Nunez is hitting .278 against left-handed pitching this season, and he has 5 home runs in just 54 at-bats. That gives him an impressive .278 ISO and a .556 slugging percentage. So I like him a lot here. He also doesn't strike out as much against lefties, just a 23% K rate compared to a 30% K rate against righties, and he's walking a lot more. So I like him a lot. He has like a 136 WRC plus against lefties this season, and it's just a great ballpark to hit in. And with the way he's been swinging a bat, he can easily go yard again today. So I like him at first base. Next up, I like Hanser Alberto. You can play him at second or third base. The last couple times against lefties, Alberto was leading off, so I will not be shocked if they lead him off against lefties again because he's been crushing lefties. He's at a really good price tag at 4,100. for the numbers that he has against left-handed pitching this season and for his career. If he's batting leadoff, then he becomes an incredible value play, and I would assume he's going to be batting leadoff. Even though Fantasy Labs hasn't projected near the bottom of the lineup, I would assume he would be at the top. But anyway, he's hitting a really good 417, obviously, almost 200 points higher against lefties this season than righties. He has 2 home runs against lefties and just 48 at-bats, compared to 1 home run and 80 at-bats against right-handed pitching. And he has a little bit of power, and he has a little bit of speed as well. So he has like a 188 ISO, 604 slugging against lefties, pretty solid. And for his career, he's been a lot better against lefties too. 274 average against lefties, just a really bad 218 against righties. And the power that he has just been from this season because he hasn't been in the league that long. So I like him a lot here at 4,100, given the numbers he has against left-handed pitching. All right, we talked about some of the Orioles that I like. Those two are going to be my favorite Orioles to pick. And then going with the Rockies, we're going to go with Nolan Arenado at third base. So Arenado is just a really, really, really good hitter. He's a lot better against left-handed pitching, but I don't really care because Cashner is not good against righties. Last season, he only struck out like 11% of right-handed hitters. And Arenado has not struck out in 8 games. And he only has 22 strikeouts and almost 200 at-bats this season. So that's like a 11% K rate. So I like Arenado a ton today. He has 4 straight multi-hit games. He's seeing the ball really well. At home, he hits the ball really good. And he got off to a really slow start this season, but his numbers are off the charts right now. And with Blackmon banged up, he's going to have to really carry the offense until Blackmon returns. And he can definitely do that. So at 5,600, I expect Arenado to continue his hot numbers here against Cashner, a guy that he has had success against in his past. And then last but not least, I like David Dahl. 4,400 for Dahl against a righty. Gets a really good lefty-righty matchup here. With he's going to be batting third in the lineup. That's where he's been batting lately, and he's been pretty good. He has some power, hasn't really shown it this season, which is 3 home runs, but he hits for high average. He can get on base. He strikes out a bunch too, with almost like a 51 Ks and 142 at-bats. That's a lot of strikeouts. That's almost like 33%. But Cashner doesn't strike out many guys, so I expect Dahl to put the ball in play, especially at home in this park. So I like Dahl a lot at just 4,400. He's pretty cheap. And that's it for the video. Like I said, I really want to go with like a full stack here. If Blackmon's in the lineup, then he makes for a tremendous play, but he is priced up at 5,800. But still, he's like day-to-day. We'll see if he's in lineup. Mancini's a good play, although 5,500 is a pretty big price tag for him. I would much rather pay Keon Broxton, $2,000 cheaper than Mancini. And he has power, as he showed yesterday, and he has a lot of speed as well with 4 stolen bases already this season and a limited number of at-bats. Only 53 at-bats has 4 stolen bases. So I like Broxton a lot at 3,500. So it was a tough fade for me in these picks, but I really want to recommend him here. I like Broxton a bunch. And then if you need another cheap value play, I like David Fletcher a lot, leading off against a lefty at just 3,400. That's a great play, Fletcher. He's another guy that doesn't strike out, only 11 Ks on the season in 146 at-bats. And against Minor, a lefty-righty matchup, makes sense for him at that very cheap price tag. So those are the picks that I like. If you go with some of those cheap guys, you can pay up at pitching for Ryu if you want. But that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and you can follow me on Twitter at the DFS Process. And good luck today.